Welcome to ProgrammingKT. Today in this tutorial, I am trying to explaining about the concept is iterator versus list iterator. So both are interfaces only. Iterator is an interface, list iterator also is an interface. So both are introduced in JDK 1.2. So iterator can be used to access the elements from collection in forward direction. So we can access the elements one by one in forward direction. So if we have collection source like 12, 16, 20, 10, 8, 5, like this, if you have collection source, if you want to access elements from any collection, imagine it may be list, set, map, whatever it may be. Of course map have key value pair. Imagine either it may be array list or linked list, hash set, linked hash set, whatever it may be. So if you are trying to access elements one by one, so we can use iterator like this. In forward direction only we can access. So if we can use list iterator, you can access both in forward direction and backward direction. So if I have same collection source, so 12, 16, 20, 10, 8, 5. So if you want forward direction, yes, you can access the elements in forward direction. So that is the advantage of list iterator. In backward also we can I can access. So both forward and backward, one by one I can access like this. So that is the first difference between iterator and list iterator. So you can access the element from collection in forward direction. In list iterator, you can access the element in both forward and backward. Forward and backward. So that is the first difference. And second difference is iterator is applicable for all collection implemented classes. So collection is an interface, right? All collection implemented classes. So list iterator is applicable only for list interface implemented classes. List implemented classes. So applicable for any class in collections like array list, linked list, hash set, linked hash set, reset, these kind of collections later iterator is applicable. But list iterator is applicable for only list implemented classes. That is the second point you need to remember when we are talking about iterator versus list iterator. So third difference is, so let me try to explain about some methods. So for accessing elements one by one in forward direction, so it has some methods like has next, and one more method is to access the element from next element, right? To check the element exists or not, this is the has next method. To access next element, next is the method. And moreover that at the time of iterating we can remove elements, so for that remove method will be there. So in list iterator we have more than these iterator methods, like, so why? Because we are iterating forward and backward, right? Like that, along with has next remove, some extra methods are there, like, so has previous, like has next, along with has next remove, all these three methods exist in list iterator also. Along with that, has next, has previous, not has next also there, has previous and set element of E. So in iterator, at the time of iterating, we are trying to access elements, you can't update it. But in list iterator, we have that flexibility. At the time of iterating, you can update the elements also. So these are the major three difference between iterator and list iterator. Now let me try to write the code for iterator and list iterator. So here I already created one class called iterator versus list iterator class. Inside that, some points I already note down here. Some note I make here, like iterator is an interface from 1.2 onwards. List iterator also is an interface from 1.2 onwards. So it can be applied for any collection. So it can be applicable for only list interface implemented classes. So according to elements in single direction. So accessing elements from single direction, I mean forward direction, left to right. But here accessing elements in bidirectional, left to right and right to left. So we can perform read and remove operations. Along with that read and remove, we can replace also. And moreover that, how we can get by calling iterator. So iterator method that exists inside iterator interface, we can call that, we will get the iterator. So by calling list iterator method that present inside list interface. So frequently used methods in iterator is has next, next and remove. So here frequently used methods are has next, next, has previous, previous, remove, set. I mean for updating. Now let me try to write example for both. So first I am trying to write example for iterator. So for that I am trying to consider list. So I'm trying to consider any way I can use list iterator. I mean list for list iterator. For iterator I am trying to consider any class, any collection class you can use. We start with list only. So list of, I am trying to consider here integer. I am trying to add list of integers. So new array list I am trying to take. So L dot add. So or else I can use add all at a time. I mean more than one element I can add by using, I am trying to use arrays dot as list utility method to add more than one element at a time. So here I am trying to add some elements. So now let me try to add some duplicate elements wantedly. So then I can remove if I want. So now let me try to apply iterator. So for any collection class we can apply iterator, right? So here array list is the list implemented classes. Set also you can use. So now let me try to apply. So how we can access iterator? By calling iterator method that exists inside collection. Any, I mean iterator is from iterable, right? Root function, I mean root interface for all collection classes. So that method by default available for all its child classes. So I can apply iterator. So object reference of that array list L dot iterator. You can apply, you will get iterator of corresponding generic type. So then we can apply accessing elements from one by one. Like so here I am trying to use while loop. First I will check by using has next method, is there any method exist or not. Iterator dot has next. Next one is, so I will access the element by using next element iterator dot next. So reference name is iterator only, iterator dot next. So now let me try to run it. So I got the element from one by one. So what I am trying to do at the time of iterating, so these are the two methods, right? Has next is used to check the next element exists or not. So next method is used to access the element from collection source. So these are the two methods, frequently used methods. Remove. So sometimes if you want to remove at the time of iterating with some condition, remove method can be used. Let me try to write that logic, removing logic. So I want to remove at the time of iterating, I am checking the condition like if the element iterator dot next, if the next element is, I am trying to assign to a variable. So I am implementing the condition like, so if next element is equal to 7, I am trying to remove it. So by using iterator reference here. So iterator reference dot remove method. So remove. Now if I can print that list before iterate, I mean remove, after remove, let me try to show you. So before and after. Now let me try to run it. See here previously duplicate elements although, even though if we can apply one, all sevens, n number of elements will be there. If the condition is matched, all elements it will remove. So this remove method. So that are the three frequently used method that exists inside iterator. has next remove. So now let me try to apply remaining collection. So if you are applying here array list, right, if I can apply linked list also. So linked list. So same, there is no difference, right? List anyway, list is the parent interface, and its implemented classes. Instead of list, if we can apply set also. So anyway, set does not allow duplicates, right? So if I can use set, so anyway duplicates not allowed, but it can remove that element. Here I can consider like hash set or linked hash set. Hash set, that is the implemented class of iterable. Anyway parent is iterable. Now if I can run, so anyway only 17 will be there. Why? Because set does not allow duplicates, right? So set does not allow duplicates, but that 7 is removed. So that is that one. Not only set, any it's set implemented classes, has set, reset, linked has set. Next, let me try to write example for list iterator. So we can traverse either forward direction or backward direction. So for that, I am trying to take list. Why? Because list iterator is applicable for all list implemented classes only, but iterator is applicable for any collection implemented class. So here I am trying to take here string, list of strings. So list new array list, or a list. Then I am trying to add elements, list dot add. I am trying to add some strings, core Java, list dot add all. I am trying to apply, I am trying to add all at a time. So one more string is spring and one more string is spring boot. So here I can add. So these are the some strings I added inside that list. Now let me try to apply list iterator. So list dot list iterator, we will get a list iterator reference. So with this we can move forward direction or backward direction. So first I will show you forward direction. While I am trying to use while loop, so while list iterator dot has next. So I am trying to print the element list iterator dot next. Just dot next, it will access the next element. Now let me try to run it. So I got the element from forward direction, core Java, JDBC, Spring, Spring Boot. So if you want to access the element in backward direction, let me try to print that one as well. So here I am making some separator. So instead of has next, I can use has previous. So has previous, and instead of next, previous. Now let me try to run. So previously, if you can observe the output order, so previously it will be Java, core Java, JDBC, Spring, Spring Boot. Now in reverse order, backward direction. So Spring Boot, Spring, JDBC, core Java. You are seeing, right, for both forward direction and backward direction. So one point you need to remember in this in this concept. So you can't apply has previous directly. So once the cursor is moved to end, then only you can apply has previous. So if I can remove this first while loop, I won't get any output. Let me show you that. Why? Because has previous, here I did not get any output, right? Why? Because the cursor is in starting itself. So if you have elements like, consider this one. So cursor is there at 1 only. Previous of 1 there is no element, right? That's why here I did not get any output. So if we can move cursor up to 9, then 9 have previous element 6. So in that case 9 will be printed, previous element is 6, like that it will move. So that's why here I did not get any output. This is the important point you need to remember. First it will move the cursor at end, then only you will get, I mean, has previous will be executed. So now I will get the output. This is the important point. And moreover that I covered here, has next, next has previous, previous. Now you can, if you want to remove, remove. Let me try to explain about remove and set as well. So at the time of iterating, so any one loop we can consider any one loop. Now at the time of iterating, what I need to do, I can remove, I can apply remove logic, list iterator, list iterator dot next. First I will store into some variable. So I am trying to compare if, so next is the string that is equals to some string inside that. If it is jdbc, I am trying to remove. So here list iterator dot iterator dot remove. So at the time of iterating, if I can find the string jdbc, I want to remove that string from collection, I mean list iterator collection here, right? So this is the list, right? Inside that list these many strings are there. So at the time of iterating by using list iterator, I want to remove some string if that matches jdbc. So now let me try to run it. So to observe that, let me try to print it. I mean here anyway I did not print, right? So instead of this, let me try to print some out statement with before list and, I mean before removing, after removing, how it look like. So collection source is list. So list before removing, after removing. See here, before removing JDBC will be there. Here if you can observe here, JDBC is there. After removing, JDBC won't be there. So at the time of iterating, you can do update also. So anyway the cursor is moved to, I mean end right at springboard. So at the time of iterating backward, I can add. So let me try to apply update as well. So if I can at the time of iterating, so let me try to update. If it is spring, I want to update spring data jpa. So list iterator dot next. So at the time of iterating from backward to, I mean left, right to left, so I am checking the condition. So if next dot equals, next equals one of the string, I can consider here spring. So I want to remove, I mean I want to update. So list iterator dot set. Set is the method to update any element. So I am trying to update spring data jpa. Now let me try to observe the output. So before, anyway here already we have, right? After I can, now let me try to run it. So no such element exception. Why? Because spring at the time of iterating from backward, I mean here iterated at previous, right? Here instead of next, I need to apply previous. So when I am update, I mean iterating from backward to forward, I updated spring with spring data jpa. So that is the usage about set. So if you want to update, you can update. If you want to remove, you can remove, but update option is not available in iterator. So these are the difference between iterator versus list iterator. Let me recap. So iterator is applicable for any collection class. List iterator is applicable for only list implemented classes. By using iterator, you can access elements in forward direction. By using list iterator, you can access elements in forward direction and backward direction. Means bidirectional. So you can perform read and remove. Here you can perform read and remove. Along with that read and remove, you can update. I mean replace also possible. How we can access? By calling iterator method. You can access by using list iterator method. So some of the frequently used methods: has next, next, and remove. Along with these three, we have some extra methods called has previous, previous, and set. So I hope you got some clarity on iterator versus list iterator. So if you like the content, hit on like button and subscribe Programming KT. Thanks for watching.